What's going on YouTube? Rice Crispy 94 here, joined by, once again, the one and only Mr. Cryoquake.
Going on, everybody? Cryoquake back here for the Monster Corner, and boy, oh boy, is this one a doozy.
It's something else. So,
that's all I can ever think about when describing that shit.
Yeah. So if you can't tell, we are doing a Locathah. So let's take a look at these wonderful creatures.
I don't want
to. So here they are in first edition. And in first edition, they just look like Sahawagans or any other fish creature in D&D.
Katoa or whatever.
Yeah, like every fish person in first edition looks like this.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's that typical like creature from the Black Lagoon mer look.
Super like traditional horror, like 1990s shit that they used to make, those terrible fucking movies.
Shit, those were like way before the night. Those were like 50s, 60s, dude. That was like,
I know, but then they kept doing them in the 90s, and then they kept then thankfully they got better and shit.
Right.
Or like back when they would like use like puppets and they're like really ugly and gross.
Oh.
God, I'm glad that's not a thing anymore.
Right.
Thank you, fucking animation and VFX.
CGI, yes.
CGI, praise be to you.
So with every like first edition monster, there's not a lot to talk about, but there's a little more to talk about when we look at second edition.
Oh Lord.
And it's just like, what? I prefer first edition to this beer belly tadpole man.
He's just standing there, man. He's just chilling out.
He's like gut straight out with his spear that doesn't look like it could do any damage because it would break. Like,
I mean, it would hurt. It would stab you, but like, yeah, you could just snap it.
Yeah. Like,
it would probably, it's probably bendy and wobbly like a fencing sword.
Right. There's a reason these things are pathetic. I mean, second edition is the best look at how pathetic it is.
Yeah, it does look bigger though. Like, it looks tall.
Yes, it does. But I mean, other than it looking pathetic, at least it looks less like what a Sahawagan looks like this time around.
That's true. That's true.
It looks like its own thing. Moving on to third edition, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I also feel like something was lost in translation here.
But I feel like that happens a lot with the third edition monsters. They just go from like dopey to terrifying every time.
I mean, it's cool. It's just not, the progression is not correct. It's like a Digimon evolution.
Yeah, it is. It's like they saw a normal Pokemon evolution, then they're just like, and now it's a Digimon.
And now it's got fucking armor plates and it's made of metal and it's fucking an alien and now.
Like, yeah, this thing is actually terrifying. It looks like it should be threatening.
At least before it had a fish-like body, this just looks like a dude with a mask on.
Right? Yeah, like some sea elf put a fish head on.
It's a little more alien bug-like?
Yeah. I see, because it has like antennas.
Yeah.
Like the fins give me like the fish vibe, but then
you take the fin though, and I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't say it was a fish.
If you like take your hand and cover over the bottom half of it and just like show the nose up, it looks like a pissed off caterpillar.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It's just a pissed off caterpillar fish, man.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's got like tats and like no.
Right? Like this, I will say this is my favorite version of the creature.
Oh really? No, come on.
I don't know why, but I mean, okay. So there is no 4th edition, and we'll flip over to 5th edition now, so you can see why John's saying, "Come on."
He's so cute. He's got a little pet.
He got a little seal.
Listen, my perception of these things is swayed very much for reasons we'll eventually get into.
Yeah.
But he's cute.
He's all right. He looks like
really
slimy.
I can never look at him the same.
Yeah. but these things are supposed to be like, yeah, but this is like backwards evolution here.
I mean, but this is exactly what you would expect.
Yeah, it is. It is. Once you hear like what they actually are and how they are, it's definitely what you would expect. This little 4 foot tall, pot-bellied fish man.
I like him.
I like him. He's got a seal. Like you gotta like anything with a seal.
Exactly.
They still are slimy.
And yeah, gross.
And pathetic. Like, okay, so 3rd edition looks like it could do some damage. This thing looks like you're just gonna like walk past it and shove it over.
That's why I don't really like 3rd edition that much, because it doesn't make a lot of sense.
That's very true. That's true.
Like like it's the only one that just does not like fit into like the same like theme that's going on.
Exactly. Yeah, I get that. I think I like the design of 3rd edition, but I wish it was for a different creature. How's that?
Yes, I would agree. That's the best way to describe it, I would think.
Right. Okay, so now we'll move on to origin and history, and you'll see why we're talking about 3rd edition and how it doesn't really fit the theme. So, basically, these things are enslaved by just about every sea race there is.
Yep.
They're pathetic. They don't mind being enslaved either. Like, they don't fight it. They're just like, you got me. Let me go.
Fuck.
Work for nothing.
Oh well.
So pretty much they do in the D&D worlds, they started out as deeper ocean creatures, but because they kept getting enslaved by all these races, they started moving inland and became more of a coastal shallows creature, because most other aquatic races live in the deeps, whereas these guys now just kind of live next to the shore, which is kind of funny.
They're cute. If you really think about it, they're kind of cute.
They're kind of cute. They the Kuatoa, which are another weird fish race. Those are the like primary captors. Is that the word?
Slavers.
Slavers. Yeah, that's fair. They're kind of like a barbaric race, because they're just like hunters and gatherers. They're not very like tech savvy. They're fish people. They just kind of live together, and they send people off on little hunting parties. I'm assuming
they do their own little thing.
Fish. Yeah.
They're probably like herbivores or some shit like that.
One kind of weird thing. So they have a matriarchal something like, yeah, that word, chieftain, that lays a bunch of eggs. So they're like all technically related.
Okay, it's like bees.
Yeah, kind of. They have like one queen that lays the eggs, and the eggs are taken care of, and yeah.
Splendid.
Yep. I mean, it doesn't surprise me with these things that they like have a weird fish queen.
Well, I mean, they gotta follow orders even when they're not being enslaved, so I guess whatever.
Well, that's another thing. It's like they have a queen, but then the queen's like, yeah, well, we're slaves now, guys.
Yeah, like what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense.
Right?
That makes no fucking sense, dude.
They're just really pathetic.
Yeah, I guess, huh?
But, okay. Speaking of pathetic, I mean, the stat block.
Oh boy.
13 armor class, which isn't terrible.
Well, that's not bad considering it's a fish.
Right? And we'll talk about why it's a 13 armor class in a future slide. Hit points 22. I mean,
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge rating 1/2, so 22 is not bad.
Got the dual speeds.
Right, yeah, because it's got swim and walk, which is nice, but you'd expect it. I almost expect the swim to be a little better than its speed, though. Like, it's on land speed.
But it's stubby.
Yeah, but it's an aquatic creature. Like, you'd think it's more... I mean, you throw a fish on land.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Yeah, I would almost.
But it's got feet though, so like
That's
you know.
true. I would just like. I would say a 40 swim feet would make more sense to me.
I don't disagree with that.
So strength 13.
God, the stats are abysmal.
Mm-hmm.
They're so bad.
Honestly, though, I feel like the strength should be worse.
Yeah, maybe. Because it's just like, he's just there. He's not doing much.
No. But I mean, it must be somewhat dexterous, maybe because it's slimy, so it's slippery, because he gets a plus 3 to dex save.
That's probably wise, because it's slippery, and it can like get
Right.
out of like grapples and stuff like that.
That's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, look at that. Plus 3 to athletics and a plus 2 to perception. If they're so perceptive, why are they slaves?
Because they're not smart enough to like do anything about it, and they're not
That's true.
strong enough to do anything about it.
Yeah, they're just, well, I guess they must be smart enough to go, well, it's better than dying.
I mean, here's the thing: if you may have a good perception to be like, "Holy fuck, is that a dragon in the sky?" But if you get breathed fire on, you're gonna die. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's like, that's
there's
fair.
not much- there's only so much that I can do. I see it, but I'm not can't do fucking anything about
Right,
it.
it's just like, well, I guess it's my time.
Yeah, I guess I'm done. So it's like you can only do so much.
Passive perception 12. They speak Aquan and Common. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Talked about the challenge rating. Leviathan Will. It's actually really cool.
Wow, I didn't know. Whoa,
Right?
I did not know that it got all that.
Yeah, which is like...
That's like everything.
Yeah! Can't be charmed. They have like pretty good magic resistance.
I mean,
Or
yeah.
why, I don't know, but...
Yeah, against charm. That's like everything except. No, that wait. Petrified.
Petrified, yeah.
Petrified.
Huh.
Which is still great.
And then they're limited amphibiousness. So they can breathe air and water, but they have to submerge themselves once every 4 hours or they suffocate.
Love that. I think they changed that for the race, which we will be getting into. I think it's once every day.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's 1 hour every day or some shit. I don't know. It doesn't really matter that much.
Multi-attack, makes sense. It's got a spear.
Man, that's hefty damage for like, these are low level little guy, like monsters. Like, you know what I mean? You put these against like your level 1, level 2. Like at level 1 or 2, you only got like 15 to 16 hit points. Like,
Should've got
2 good strikes.
My Locathah minifigure for this to show off. I love my Locathah minifigure. He's just got like this little fishing spear and he's just sitting there. He looks just like the one in the picture.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be like fair with what it is for like the challenge it is. Like,
Right.
it can do like it'll do a decent amount of damage to a level 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
so do you like? I'm thinking about like not playing as one of these, but like DMing a couple of these coming up. Do you think they'd be smart enough not to throw their spear, or do you think they would just like straight up throw their spear?
well,
If they throw their spear and they like miss, then they're just a fish.
yeah. My logic with spears is like, because I always try to justify the reason between distinguishing a javelin and a spear in this game.
Right.
Because a javelin, you're supposed to throw those. Like, that's the whole point. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily think... I don't think people throw spears as often as the game makes it seem like people do.
That's fair. I mean...
You know what I mean? Like, if
Yeah.
I had a spear, I wouldn't throw it unless, like, I needed to throw it. Like,
you
know what I mean?
Have you seen Mandalorian?
I have.
Okay, like second season, he gets that spear.
Yeah.
He doesn't
See?
throw it. He uses it as, you know, well, it should
Because why would you need to throw the spear? Like, I don't know. If you have multiple spears, maybe. But like, if you have one spear and not a back, like if they had a spear and like a dagger, then okay, right? You're probably gonna throw the dagger instead.
Right. Yeah.
But you could afford to throw the spear because you have another weapon. So like that's where it becomes like, okay, well, what the fuck?
Yeah. These things are just... But they're not an aggressive species. They're neutral. And given their history, like if someone starts attacking them, I feel like they're gonna fight or flight, and flight's gonna be the method.
Yeah.
I think it's yeah. We'll talk more about that when we get to the DM corner.
Yeah.
For now, let's talk about these as a playable race. So that's right,
Lord.
people. Because of a online book that came out, I don't think it exclusively came out to D&D Beyond, because it's an actual Wizards of the Coast published thing. But it's called Locathah Rising.
Locathah Rising.
Yes, and it made them a playable race. So as you can see here, they get a +2 to Strength and a +1 to Dex, which just what? Which I feel like it should be reversed once we look, or when we were looking at the stat block, they had better Dex.
Yeah.
Going back to it. Nope, they did have better Strength. Okay, never mind.
I didn't realize they were big. I thought they were small.
Right? Their size is and that's why I'm confused, because the mini I have is about the size of a gnome.
Yeah, I like to think that some things can be changed.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like these are smaller things. I do like the idea that they're still like around 150 pounds though when they're 4 foot tall.
Yeah, that is nice. I like that. Like a little chunk.
Right, so there's the speed of 30 feet, which is both swim and movement, which again feel like they should get more swim, but I guess as a playable race for balancing, I get why it's both just 30 feet.
Yeah.
And I talked about their natural armor, so that's why they have such kind of a high AC for natural armor. They have this
Because you get that dex bonus.
They get that dex bonus, but they have this the way it was described, I didn't put all the information down, but it's their scales give them a stronger natural armor than most things. They aren't just fleshy.
Interesting.
They actually have hard scales.
Ew.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like I thought about it. Like, I thought about it. Like, my eyes flashed, and I was like, I don't enjoy that very much.
So proficiency in athletics and perception makes sense to get their stat block. There's the Leviathan Will again. Advantage on saving throws against being charmed, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, stunned, or put to sleep. That is a playable race with all that.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, before they fixed everything, because they started fixing all the races, the Yuan-Ti had advantage on all magic.
True.
And immunity to a fucking damage type.
Also true. Now I think
So,
it's just
like,
resistant.
It's just resistant, and you don't have advantage anymore, I don't think.
Right.
Which is like a huge nerf, but
Yeah,
I mean,
they
also
got
it was
mega
kind of
nerf,
OP.
but now,
Well,
yeah,
no, not really, because gnomes have advantage on saving throws against magic.
it's true. And gnomes didn't get touched.
I don't know.
I don't either. Limited amphibiousness. So they did not change it for the playable race. It still is every 4 hours.
I thought they did. Oh well.
And then speak common awkward. So yeah, if anybody's interested in playing one of these in the campaign,
Don't do it. Don't do it. Save yourselves.
Yeah. I played a grung and that was fun. The water thing sucks.
Yeah, the water thing's really bad, and like, I don't know. I'm a stickler for stuff like this because like I don't really give a shit about like the fish race because it's a fish race, so like I'm not gonna talk shit. But I've always loved the idea of having a frog race in D&D because like you see that pretty often in some media where like there's like the frog warrior or whatever, and like I feel like like it's hard to play with that like strictness. So like if it really gets in the way of your game, just get rid of it.
Right.
Like we did a one shot one shot off air that we did just for fun that Bryce played a grung, and we did it because it was one shot. We knew we'd never play it again, so it didn't really matter that much.
Right.
But like in a serious campaign, if you really want to play a frog person, like one, don't use the grung and come up with something different and homebrew something, or use the grung and just don't do
the submerged thing. Or if you, I mean, okay. So my thoughts with the submerged thing, I kind of like it in a survival heavy campaign.
Yes. If you want to give yourself a challenge like that.
Right.
Because some people do like to do that, so you could do that. I think my one like bone to pick is it's just another thing that you're like people are gonna forget. You're gonna forget about.
Yeah, it really is.
Like,
it's just another thing that the player and the DM have to remember, and it's like,
and it's gonna get tedious to the point where you're both gonna be like upset with it, and like you're just gonna be like the DM. Like if you have a shit DM, it's always gonna put you in a situation where you can't get to water, and then what? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it really sucks because like how, for instance, right, for Double Advantage, they were in the Underdark for a long time. You can't do shit like that with these creatures because it doesn't say like every 4 hours or you get disadvantage. It says every 4 hours or you will start to die. Like
right.
there's nothing you can. Like, it's not like exhaustion.
Breathe.
You will die. You know what I mean? So it's like
you could always like. I'd say if you want to play one of these and you want to be pretty not strict about it, but you do want the water breathing, but you don't want to make it like super big hindrance. Like maybe you and your DM can discuss changing it to once a day, or even like maybe you have some magic item like a squirt stick.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, we're just talking about things people are going to forget about. Like I say it at the end of every Double Advantage episode. Yet the squirt stick has not become important. Well, it was never important, but the squirt stick has not made an actual appearance in like 40 episodes.
True. I'm trying to think the last time I used it for something.
I don't even remember. It just doesn't get used. But like, yeah.
One time I used it to test out a trap, and Torchic was like losing his mind because he thought I was gonna lose the squirt stick.
Yeah, I think to avoid it, like I do like the magic item stuff. Like I was talking to Bryce about how I was gonna play a Grung one time, and I was like, I have it all figured out. You just get yourself like a decanter of endless water, and you have that to it'll usually do the trick, and then you can just forget about it, right? You can just forget about it because it's not an attunement item. It's a super like low like enchantment item, and then you never have to like bring it back up because you could just say from that point on, hey, right, I have this item. We never have to talk about this again.
Yeah. Or like if you're a spellcaster and you have like create water or something like that, you can constantly keep yourself hydrated.
And you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
so like
definitely ways around that.
Because the way I like to think about it is this little feature, unless like, you know, you discuss with your DM or whatever, is just another thing that you're going to forget about. Like, for instance, a pet, right? We kind of forget Scheller exists. We kind of don't. We joke about it. He's kind of got plot armor.
He's got major plot armor.
He'll never die unless you do something specific to the point where it would warrant that. Right. And we just kind of say that he's like safe in that pocket.
Yep.
The other one though that I'm less lenient about, even though we keep forgetting about it, but it's because it's my fault, is Quellen. Like that wolf, in theory, should be dead in multiple facets of life.
Never comes with us a lot of the times.
That's true, but I mean, he should not have survived the Underdark.
That's true.
But like, it is what it is, right? It's just, if you want to remember it, you can, if it's like a little thing you want to do. If not, your DM will probably just forget about it anyway, or you could just have them remove it. It's as simple as that, really. Oh, Lord.
Okay, moving on. Cryo. How are you going to use these things in a campaign?
You don't. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming here to this episode of Monster Corner. Next week will be, I don't fucking know, but it doesn't matter. No, but in all seriousness, don't use these. If you have somebody named Rennie on your player list, man, I don't even know what to say. I've never used these as a monster because I didn't even really know they existed. And the only reason that we're talking about it is because of a meme decision by Rennie to play a fucking fish. And that's really about it. I don't know what purpose they serve. I mean, maybe you can use them to like uncover a underwater slavery ring and you can combat that, and like, you know, you could do shit like that.
Honestly, that'd be kind of cool. Like, you have to like save a bunch of them because you don't necessarily have to use them as the bad guys.
Yeah, no, you don't.
They're just a race that exists that you don't have to kill.
Yeah, I'll say this though, because Bryce reminded me, and I have to do it every time, you could just have a Locathah cult. And that's about it. You know what I mean? Oh Lord. But yeah, you can, yeah, maybe you find one of these in like a cage washed up on shore, and like, it leads you to like this, like, oh, there's an underwater slavery ring going on. Well, why do we care? Like, maybe it's just your players care about like the rights of people, or maybe like you could tie it in with something else, like, oh, there's this slavery ring and the leader has a key that unlocks some fucking crazy sea being and you gotta get rid of them. I don't fucking know. They're weird creatures.
They are weird creatures.
You can make it work. You can make it work for comedy if you want like a comedic effect. Go look at Rennie as a prime example of that. You can use them as like, how do I put this? Like, it could be, I like them being like information givers, but like not in the sense of like they just give you like a fucking chunk of text that you spew, but like they have little like tidbits, or like they have little like interesting like things that you can like use, or like they can be guides through like underwater caverns and shit like that.
Like that.
So I think that they're more of like an asset rather than an enemy per se, but you could also just chuck a couple of these low level if you're doing like a sea campaign, or levels 1 through 3, get a couple of these out there, and it would all kind of make sense.
I like it. I like it a lot.
These little guys.
I think that's all we have for the Locathah. I do want to add, if you want to see these guys being played as a player character, if you're interested in that, definitely go check out the one-shot Finding Friends.
God. It's Friends at First Sight.
Friends at First Sight.
Friends at First Sight Part 1, Part 2 to come soon-ish.
Soon-ish.
Whenever we can get that recorded.
Yes. I guess, yeah, it's not a one-shot, it's a two-shot. Part 1 is up.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is a player, Rennie Texas. Love Rennie.
Oh my god.
He's playing a Locathah.
I hate him.
Wonderful Locathah that we all love.
We all love him more than life itself.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
And I play a turtle.
You do play a turtle. The only sane human being in that game.
I don't know about sane. My guy's just kind of a dick.
That's true. He is kind of an asshole. Oh man.
But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this one, everybody. Thank you for joining us. If you want to see us talk about a monster, go ahead and leave the name of it down in the comments below. Until then, we'll catch y'all later. Peace.